Cool.
Last sip of coffee, and then we go. How do you feel?
Yeah, good. It's been a while since I've done anything on camera, so yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, you said that you like podcasts.
I do, I listen to rather than watch a whole bunch.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I find it a great way to kill time, or rather fill up time. Yeah, there's quite a few podcasters I listen to.
Yeah.
Mostly in the personal development space.
yeah. Same.
Yeah. I find that really good. Especially weirdly enough, when I'm in the shower, I love having. There's a guy I watch or listen to rather called Ed Milet.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if
I see.
have I sent you some. Or have you heard
Maybe you
it?
have, but I have to be honest that I haven't watched it.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Actually, I have, but I didn't vibe with the guy. It was it's
Okay.
different what I have watched. So
Yeah, he's
maybe
quite an in-your-face, quite an out there podcaster. One of the most popular podcasts, I think. He boasts about that. One of the most watched or listened to podcasts in the world at the moment, I think.
Okay. So he's getting like gaining more audience and popularity.
Yeah. He's got a really good interview style, and his guests that he has on is very, very fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
And the questions that he asks them as well, quite thought provoking, quite just interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the goal of this one is to get there.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
but I think when you listen to you said that you listen to them in shower.
Yeah.
So how do you do it? What's the technical procedure?
I just chuck up my phone on and put it on super loud.
Ah, okay.
And just
So-
let him shout. He does a lot of like shouting, and he gets quite
yeah.
intense and quite.
Oh yeah.
Intense is probably the best way to describe it. So yeah, it's like my wife says, he's coaching me first thing in the morning.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's how you get lit up.
Yeah,
That's how you have so much energy in the office.
maybe because then of course I follow it on listening to him or someone similar in the car on the way to the
Yeah.
office as well. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
cool. So no like AirPods or like a waterproof speaker or anything yet.
No, not yet.
No,
Yeah.
that's then I know what I get you for Christmas.
What, like a shower radio or something?
Yeah. And if one day I interview that guy, you can be in the studio.
Yeah, cool.
And you can chuck in a few questions.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make that happen
Yeah, cool.
in 5 years.
Man, anything can happen.
Oh yeah, cool. Ray Shepherdson, you're from South Africa.
I'm South African. Yeah.
You're in Germany now. Mm-hmm. How did you end up in here? What's your story?
Yeah, I mean, for me at least, quite an interesting story. I'll give you the short version, which probably will end up, being being quite long.
Yeah, we bite into that.
Yeah. So I was just under 30 years old, maybe about to turn 30. And I remember sitting at my desk. Now, I always come from a sales background.
South Africa still.
South Africa still, IT/sales background. I spent a lot of time in the office behind a computer screen. And I remember one day thinking, in fact, looking up from my screen and thinking, man, I can't do this for the next 30 odd years. I think I'd gotten like a pension statement. It said, cool, you're on track to retire in 2042 or something like that. And this wave of depression came over me, and I thought, I can't sit behind a computer screen. I must follow a passion. I must do something that I enjoy every day. If you're going to spend 8 or 9 hours a day doing something, try and find something that you love, of course. So that prompted me to send an email over to some companies here at the Nürburgring.
Okay.
Obviously, my passion has always been cars.
Yeah, I see.
I've got a few other passions as well, safari and animals and that sort of thing. Barbecue. Yeah, we can get into that a little bit later. I thought, let's try and pursue a career somewhere in the automotive industry, the motorsport industry. And that prompted me to send a few emails off to the Nürburgring. One of them being to RSRNürburg. I did have a friend working here at the time,
Okay.
which obviously helped, and obviously which was the seed in my head that kind of got me to pursue
I
it.
see. I understand this one.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, offered my services, was willing to come and wash cars. In fact, my email said, "Hey man, do you need someone to come and wash cars? Obviously love cars, and I just want to be in the industry and want to be around nice, precious metal as much as possible." A few days later, I got an email back saying, "Cool, come on through for a couple of months. Let's see how it works out." And that was now 14 years ago, at the end of
Okay.
2012.
Important question. Did you wash any cars when you started?
I did wash a couple, but that wasn't why I was brought over. Yeah, it was more to help on the instruction side of things, in the office side of things.
Okay.
Yeah, when I started with RSRNürburg, there was a team of 5 of us, including mechanics and the big boss. So a very, very small team. And of course, now we're,
Yeah,
we've got
20,
about,
25,
exactly, yeah, yeah.
depending on the month.
Depending on the month, depending on the time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. The the thoughts, I think the thoughts you got in South Africa when you're in the office, they aren't that rare. Like,
Yeah.
people around the world can share the same thoughts.
Yeah.
And some are ready to make the leap of faith and some are not. So, regardless of the country you live in, that thoughts can be still similar. But because you come from South Africa, would you like to describe like how was living in South Africa when you lived your regular life there in childhood?
Yeah, I mean, I think growing up in South Africa, geographically, of course, South Africa is right at the bottom of the world,
Yeah,
and you kind of feel it there. Everything feels so far away. Traveling is quite expensive just because of the sheer distance. Yeah, I think difficult to kind of give my perspective when I was growing up in South Africa.
Yeah.
Loved it, had a great childhood. The main differences between Europe and South Africa, of course, is it's more of an outdoor lifestyle in South Africa.
Yeah.
The summers last a bit longer, quite a lot longer, in fact. So quite different to being in Europe. Having been in Europe now for the last 14 years, it has given me quite a lot of perspective. And looking back, I obviously missed South Africa. It was my home. It was where I grew up.
Yeah.
I've got lots of family and friends still there. So, but yeah, and I think I speak for a lot of South Africans we feel quite geographically isolated down there. Having said that, we're also quite a small country. And having been out of the country now for so many years, it's amazing how many South Africans you meet in weird villages all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting international.
Yeah.
People are moving around.
Yeah.
The
I was in a small little village in Portugal a couple of years ago. Yeah. Talking to another South African friend of mine. And it was a really small, out-of-the-way village.
Yeah.
And talking to a mate of mine, and then all the way from the other side of the street, someone said, "Hey, South Africa, how's it, man?" Which is local slang for, how you doing?
Okay.
It was another South African that had picked up my accent.
Oh yeah, so he heard you speaking, and then he got that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you started in South Africa, but you have been away for 14 years. But because it's before I went overseas, I'm from Finland. In Finland, I didn't meet so many South Africans. I knew that Elon Musk is from South Africa, and was it Nelson Mandela?
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela. So those were my South Africans. But now you are one of them.
Yeah.
So you are among great men. But so I think the question for me and also other people around the world would be like related to South Africa, like how was the life there, and how was growing up there?
Yeah, I really enjoyed my childhood in South Africa. Like I said, very much an outdoor lifestyle, barbecuing a lot. Of course we call it a braai over there, but very much an outdoor lifestyle. A lot of stuff that you hear on the news isn't all exactly accurate about South Africa. Yes, it can be quite dangerous, like in many cities in the world. There is quite a divide between, rich and poor. And that is quite evident if you ever do travel to South Africa. It is probably something you'll recognize quite
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
quite soon into your trip. Um, yeah, I like I said, had a very good childhood. I do come from a broken home. My folks got divorced when I was quite young,
Yeah.
but luckily, both my parents stayed in touch, and
It played out well.
yeah. So apart from that, really good. I think quite an average childhood. Yeah. Don't come from a mega wealthy home, but never wanted for much. Family was very loving and stuff like that. So yeah, good childhood.
That's good. That's good.
And I would recommend to anyone watching, go and visit South Africa.
Okay.
It's cool. It's awesome. There's a lot to do there. The food
Yeah.
is great. There's a lot to see there. Big mountains, two different oceans. We've got the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean. So
That's a good
plenty
point,
to
actually.
see
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That I think that geography, that one dictates like lots of the stuff, around the world, and that's quite interesting actually that you have like two great oceans,
Yeah, yeah.
great oceans, and I think that, like you said, the nature and the camping and the outdoor life is a big thing there, and I think most people know Africa and South Africa for the wildlife and the savannas
Yeah.
and lions.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's also a big part of it. Yeah.
yeah. I think during your childhood, you have got used to that one.
Yeah.
But I think that now when you have been away, you start to respect also the good things what your country has.
Absolutely. Good point.
And I guess there is no perfect place in the world, and you start to respect the good things about the place where you come from when you have been away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also you might find some new stuff when you travel.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point that you mentioned there. Having been away from South Africa for so long, obviously, of course, I feel myself whenever my wife and I want to plan a holiday.
Yeah.
It's South Africa is always first. We want to go back to South Africa, but it did also get me to start appreciating wildlife and the safari side of things. And another great passion of mine, of course, is safari and guiding and being out in the bush.
Yeah.
I have since moving to Germany gone and studied. I did a few years ago to be a field guide.
Oh,
So
have you?
I'm actually a qualified field guide and
Okay.
an apprentice trails guide. So I got my qualification to walk through the bush with a group of tourists or guests behind me.
Yeah.
With a rifle.
Oh, that's exciting. That's something new I haven't,
Yeah.
known from you.
So in the safari industry, that seems to be where everything is going. A more immersive, more quite literally on the ground experience.
Yeah,
where you're
and-
walking through the bush rather than being in a safari jeep.
Yeah, because that's like more like a mass tourist thing that
Yeah.
people take you in the cars and you just drive through.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing is actually happening in Finland. Like the special thing we have also is the nature in different ways, of course, than South Africa. But the area that gains like travelers at the moment is the Lapland, which is the north
Yeah.
north area of Finland. And especially in the winter, it's like winter wonderland.
Yeah.
And the industry there is kind of like focusing more on the luxury travel and more like individual experience instead of trying to get mass tourism there, which might damage the area.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, it seems like the same thing is happening in South Africa because the stuff you have there is kind of valuable. Right.
Absolutely, very valuable, and a big. It's a big thing there at the moment. Is of course everyone wants to grow their tourism business because it is quite lucrative. Our currency in South Africa, the rand, isn't all that strong. So when people are coming with euros and dollars and pounds, it goes a long way in South Africa. So of course there is now that balance, as you say, is trying to maximize that, but also look after the environment.
Because if you lose that one, then also the tourism stops.
Yeah, the tourism stops.
But the currency thing is kind of interesting because that's kind of stuff you don't think about when you're living inside the European Union.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So still talking about South Africa. So obviously you grew up there, But did you study something there? Did the studies get you into sales, or was sales just an attractive job for a young man?
Yeah, well, so, when fresh out of school, of course, you're faced with all the questions, what am I going to do with the rest of my life?
Yeah.
At the time, uh, computers were really taking off, the IT industry. So,
Yeah.
I, thought I was doing the right thing and started studying towards a qualification in IT.
Yeah.
It was
What?
a BSc in computer science
Oh, cool. Yeah.
and a
What?
BTech degree in information
Okay.
technology.
What age were you?
I must have been about 19
Okay. Yeah.
then.
The teenagers.
Directly after school, when I finished school at 18,
Yeah.
I moved around the country, did various different jobs in various different industries, and kind of just to kind of find out what I enjoyed and what I didn't enjoy. And computers is where kind of everything was pointing towards. So
Yeah.
started studying towards that and quickly found out that I quite wasn't built to be, to be a computer guy. So didn't finish my studies.
Yeah.
And that's when I got into sales. And I actually really enjoyed sales. And with my small computer background, sales within the IT industry is where I kind of found myself most valuable.
Okay, so in the end, the training you got or the studies
Yeah.
you did,
Yeah.
it wasn't like worthless. You used it in
Absolutely.
the sales.
Yeah. And then, of course, that was when I started, working still in the IT industry, but on the sales side of things. And that's when I realized, well, this also isn't really quite what I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
do.
Okay, speaking of sales, like most people have an idea like what does the term the complex sales mean.
Yeah.
But most people, like myself, just 1 or 2 years ago, I didn't still have an idea like what it actually means. Everyone has an idea, but it's like something like the guy in the grocery store who tries to sell you the mobile plan
Yeah,
or sells you newspaper via phone.
Yeah.
But how would you describe sales? What it is in the end?
Well, everybody is a salesperson in one way or another. Whether you've studied sales, whether you work in a sales environment, everybody is a salesperson. Everyone communicates with people, and everyone needs something. So in some small way, everybody is trying to sell something. Yes, salesmen in the past and salespeople, there's a negative connotation to it. No one wants to talk to a salesperson because they're going to try and get conned into buying something that they necessarily don't want.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That really is an old school way of thinking, And as far as I'm concerned, sales is one of the most important skills anybody can have, because you in order to be successful in life, you need to communicate with people. Not only communicate with people, excuse me, you need to successfully communicate with people, and this is where sales skills really come into it.
So you would say that it's about communicating.
It's about communicating. It's about being a people's person, and what I mean by that is just someone who can communicate with other people. Whether you're communicating to get something from that person or not, communication skills are key, and of course go hand in hand with sales. So
people who are new in sales or interested in sales, how would you start to learn sales? Like, do you think that there is a way to learn it? Are there any practices, some sales theory, or do you think that experience and just doing it is more valuable?
Yeah, I think experience is probably the most valuable and the most I think experience counts more than training. Yes, you can train someone to be a good salesperson, but experience is where it's really going to hone your skills and is what really is going to make you successful. And like I said, everybody in some way or another is a salesperson. They're trying to get something, they're trying to get ahead in life. And with that, the better your the sales skills, I think the further you're going to go. Yeah.
Sounds good. Still a question about sales. If the experience is the most valuable thing, is there like something, a lesson or two, or some like a pro tip that you have learned through this experience, and if you could simplify something like something that gives you success in sales, is there something that you could like simplify
Well,
for listeners to understand, like what does it mean actually?
So two little things. If you're selling a physical product, you want to be selling the benefits, not the features. For example, one example that sticks to mind is my first sales job in the interview. The guy said to me, "Sell me this pen."
Oh yeah,
The traditional
the Wolf of Wall Street
the Wolf
thing.
of Wall Street thing. Sell me this pen, and I mean, I just completely was not prepared.
Yeah.
And without really knowing it, excuse me, I was selling the benefits. You want this, it's going to last longer. This pen is, it's amazing because it's made out of these special materials, whatever the case might be. Sell the benefits rather than the features. And then another point you touched on, and I find it quite important as well, is there's an acronym. It's called KISS. KISS.
Okay.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Okay.
Don't overcomplicate things. Again, we're all humans. We're all in this world together. We all want the same thing out of it. Keep it simple. Don't try and overcomplicate things. So yeah, if you want 2 bits of advice, that would be it.
Okay. So you got into sales when you were like around 19, 20?
Yeah, probably my early 20s by the time.
Yeah. And how long did you stay in the industry in South Africa, or like the traditional sales industry?
Not all that long, maybe 5 or 6 years. Up until that time, leading to where I came over here to Germany, both in the sales industry. I'd also started my own small businesses at some points during that time. Some of them were quite successful, some weren't. It was very much a testing phase of my youth. Yeah.
And of all things, of all places, how did you choose Germany to be the next place where you move? So you were in the not the opposite side of the world, but in the different hemisphere.
Yeah.
In the bottom of the world.
Yeah.
And you decided that you want to go to the Germany.
Germany was never on my radar. Like I said, when I decided I wanted to follow a career in the motorsport industry, Germany is one of the better places to do that. Of course, we've got the Nürburgring here. There's a lot of international car brands, of course, that are head officed here in Germany. So while Germany was never on my radar, I kind of landed up here following motorsport and the automotive industry. Yeah.
And since that you have been here.
And since that I've been here. Yeah.
14 years or
14 years. Yeah, I really do enjoy it. I think what helps a lot is, of course, we've got the Nürburgring here. You just can't get bored with such an amazing motorsport wonderland on your doorstep. What also helps is that it's not a big built-up city environment. Yeah.
So you have some similarities to the things you like in South Africa, right?
Yeah. And that I think has been a key component keeping me interested and keeping me here in Germany as well. Is the nature side of things. Yeah.
Okay. So 14 years ago, you decided to come chase the dream to work with motorsport. You got the opportunity. You came here, washed some cars, and did some customer service. Mm-hmm. So what are you doing like currently, and what have you been like doing since you came here?
Yeah. So, excuse me. Came over to wash cars. It was the under that pretense, and of course I think quickly kind of found myself into a more customer facing role. Yeah. Obviously my sales background shone through in that, I was just kind of found myself slipping into a sales environment. At the moment, currently, I'm both an instructor and sales manager at RSRNürburg. And exactly that, I help teach people to drive cars safely, but still quite fast on one of the world's most dangerous racetracks. And at the same time, I'm putting packages together for like-minded individuals and like-minded individuals who organize things like this for groups. So I'm dealing with a lot of customers. I call them customers, but really they're friends after they've been here once.
Yeah,
So
car guys.
they're car guys. We've all got a very similar interest. We all want to drive cars fast but safely. So yeah, it's like dealing with friends rather than customers or clients.
I see.
Yeah.
So in South Africa, you worked in more traditional sales in a like boring corporate office. Then you came to Nürburgring. You have been working, in a more exciting environment, but also doing sales. And then you have this like third detail that occasionally you go back to South Africa and do some like is it savannah or safari, guiding
Yeah.
bushmancraft.
Yeah, pretty much.
But still, your main mission at the moment is doing motorsports in Nürburgring, and you have done it for quite a while.
Yeah.
So, with all this experience working with motorsport industry, it's kind of like a niche area of business. So, how would you describe what's for example the biggest myth or misconception of working in the motorsport? Is it pure fun all the time?
Yeah, of course, it's not pure fun all the time. I think the important thing is to portray an image that it is fun all the time. But behind the scenes, of course, you've got a business to run. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that need to happen to make the face of it look like it's running flawlessly and smoothly. And I think I'm pretty good at that over the years, and the rest of our team at RSR is also good at making it look effortless and flawless, and that it's all fun and games, and that's great. I think that's what we want to portray, and of course, there's lots of hard work that goes on in the background. We are trying to run a business, so there is still a lot of sales that need to take place.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you would say that you have to keep kind of like the, how would I say, there has to be like a front that everything is okay all the time, although it can be messy sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that what you would like to say, or?
Yeah, and I think it's important that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
Is to have everything calm, everything is under control, kind of output towards the customer, the drivers, for example. And in the background, you're running a team. It can be a bit stressful. There's a lot of running around. Hours can be long.
Yeah. The drivers that come here to Nürburgring, they want to have fun. So you are sharing your fun to them, and you are doing a job
they
there.
want to have fun, and it's not cheap to come and drive the Nürburgring and rent a car, depending on how you look at it, of course. There are, of course, benefits to renting, and also, of course, to running your own car. There's both cons and pros to both, and of course, that's what we need to do is facilitate that for these drivers. So we do want to be an arrive and drive kind of company, and this is where our job in the background is so important. It's making sure that it's all set up, and we're dealing with someone from the US or from Australia or someone far away. Is that they can have the confidence that everything is taken care of. They literally need to arrive to our office. They can do their laps, they can do their driving, they can drive the Nürburgring, they can drive Spa, drop the car off, and everything is taken care of.
Yeah, sounds good. Working with motorsport and your time in RSRNürburg, what have been the most unforgettable moments? The best highlights that you have had during this journey?
Yeah, well, best highlights. I mean, getting a new car in the office and then taking it for a spin. Obviously, the company has grown, so
from 5 people
to
5
25 odd people, 20 to 25 odd people. It can feel at some points like some of those funner elements have been eradicated or taken away, for want of a better term. But yeah, many good memories, and of course we're still making good memories. Things that spring to mind is, of course we've got all these fast, powerful performance cars, and we've got plenty of de-restricted autobahn motorways around Germany. So I have had the privilege of taking a few cars to their absolute maximum speed, and I just call that a perk of the job, Yeah.
Sounds good, and still makes you smile.
And still makes me smile, yeah.
Okay. For many people, the passion towards cars, its roots are in the childhood. So it's the same thing for you. Like, was it in the South Africa, or was it like movies or something that got you into cars? You don't have autobahns in South Africa, right?
No, we don't have autobahns. Most of our roads in South Africa are in a pretty bad shape, quite potholey and things like that. We do, of course, have a fair amount of supercars there, but the bulk of the cars you see are, pickup trucks and 4x4s and things like that. Interesting question. Yeah, I just have always had an interest in cars. I remember from a young age, going on road trips with the family and just having an eye for what cars were coming next. Used to play those road trip games where, the first to identify a car make and model kind of wins. And I was just really good at that, I remember.
Please take me through that one. Like, what does it mean?
You see a car coming in a distance, and it's obviously quite far away. It's just a blue or a white or a red blob. The first one who goes, that was a BMW 3 Series.
Like a playful competition with your friends.
Yeah. And of course, I was always just fascinated and drawn to sports cars when I did see them. And in fact, one of my first memories, at least, I've got a photograph of it, is we were in Cape Town somewhere. I was with my dad and my brother, and we saw a Porsche. I'm pretty sure it was a Targa, a light blue Targa 911. And my dad said, go and pretend like you're opening the door, and I'll take a picture of you, And
that's a funny one.
Yeah, and I've still got that picture to this day. So yeah. And I must have been 5 or 6 years old. And just it's a memory that stuck with me, and it was just a fun memory. And I think ever since then I've just been known as the car guy in my family as well. So whenever people were buying a car or looking at cars, it was always, Ray, what do you think? Is this a good one? I've got very little mechanical knowledge, so people weren't phoning me and asking me to come and look at is this car in a good condition. They were like, is this a nice car? And I would just give my opinion.
It's cool that you brought up the story about the Porsche you saw when you were a child, because last person who I interviewed here was my friend Hanno from Finland. And actually he had quite similar story.
I think it was also a Targa, and it was also a
Porsche. And it was definitely a Porsche. So there's something about Porsches, right? And I was actually preparing to ask you a question that what's the most important car? Not the manufacturer, make, or a model, but like a car you have driven, been a passenger of, or just seen and experienced somehow that gives you the strongest story. Is it the Targa, or is it something else?
Probably, I would go back to that story. I've obviously, since I've been living here in Germany and working at the Nürburgring, I've got many stories. I mean, we touched on this the other day when we were watching those old YouTube videos of ours. A couple of stories spring to mind. A good one was, we had this group over from Belgium. Quite young guys. Most of them felt like they were new to the sports car scene, and I'd been at RSR all of a few months by this stage, and this guy comes with his brand new red Ferrari 458, and I was his instructor for the day, and my role then is just to sit in the passenger seat and keep the guy the car safe, and hopefully teach some knowledge of the Nürburgring to this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did that for a couple of laps, and then we stepped out of the car, and he threw the keys at me and said, "Cool, you take me for a lap." And at first I was hesitant, and then, before I managed to say no thanks, obviously accepted graciously the invitation and ended up doing a couple of slow laps around the Nürburgring in a Ferrari 458.
Yeah.
His mate then, as soon as we got back, threw me the keys to his Aston Martin V12 Vantage, and I did the same thing. So that was a cool story.
Yeah.
And a nice memory.
I imagine that someone listens to this story now, like, oh, that's like a dream.
Yeah.
And you are living that one in real life.
Yeah. And of course, that doesn't happen all the time. Of course, don't be disillusioned by that. But a cool memory that I think.
Yeah. What kind of cars have you had yourself? Like, in South Africa, maybe some off-roader or pickup truck.
Yeah, so plenty of 4x4s, pickup trucks in South Africa.
How about here?
Here I've had a couple of cars.
Still a car guy.
Still a car guy, yeah. The first car I got here, and when I moved to Germany, was a VW Scirocco, the 1.4 TSI.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just needed wheels as quickly as possible, and that was actually a really good car. Unfortunately, got written off after a couple of years. Not my fault at all. But from there, I've had Mazda MX-5s. Currently, I've got a BMW M4, the F80 series. That's a really, really good car. Really enjoying that and getting to know it. Bought it last year, and of course it's been mostly winter, so it's sitting in the garage, busy taunting me to be driven.
Yeah. When is the driving season starting for you?
Yeah, normally about April. Hey, yeah. In days like this, it's been quite nice weather in the last few days. It would be nice to get out and do some driving. Yeah.
So indeed, you have driven some fast and nice cars. Some people never get to even see in their life. You have still some cool cars yourself. What's the coolest car you have driven?
Coolest car I've driven?
Or been a passenger of?
Yeah, sheesh. I've driven quite a few Ferraris. Ferrari F12 is a highlight.
Yeah,
that's quite a nice one. Of course, Porsches. We've got quite a few Porsches in the RSR fleet, so I've driven all of those. Those are all special, all fun to drive.
Yeah, especially but if you have to choose one, is it the Ferrari?
No, I don't think it would be the Ferrari. Hey, for me, I mean, I just love a GT3. It doesn't even have to be the RS. A GT3 on a nice twisty road, or a GT3 even on the Nürburgring. Special memories in those cars. Yeah.
Awesome. So now we have discussed a bit about your background and also some about what you are doing currently and the cars. But because you are also doing other stuff, so I would like to ask you about some like general stuff. So one thing I want to discuss about you is like money and investing. And I remember you briefly mentioned that back in the day when you still lived in South Africa, you got into Bitcoin. Is that the case?
Yeah, so I wasn't living in South Africa there anymore at the time.
Okay.
I was over in Germany, but...
you were already in Germany?
Yeah, I was already in Germany. And it must have been 2017 when I first got into crypto. I've got a good friend of mine in South Africa who was heavily into Bitcoin when it first was.
Yeah, already before you.
Already before me, yeah. And I remember back then thinking, what is this internet money? It can't surely lead to anything good. Anyway, did a lot of research over a few years, and decided to maybe take the plunge. But I still didn't have a great appetite for investing, and especially not crypto. So okay. I rather went the mining route, and I bought a few Bitcoin mining machines.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of got into Bitcoin. And that, as I say, was 2017. Quite a risky time to get into Bitcoin. I remember at the time Bitcoin was trading at its all-time highs. 17, 18 or $19,000 a Bitcoin. And of
Yeah.
course, with hindsight now, if I'd only known, I mean,
Yeah.
it would have been great to just
Yeah.
invest everything I had into Bitcoin back then. But
Yeah, I think when I first heard about like cryptocurrency, uh, I struggled to find more information about
yeah,
that one. It's got like you had to search the internet, watch YouTube videos, and I heard that there is lots of like noise around the
yes,
topic.
yeah, yeah.
So how did you study more?
Yeah, so, same, I went the same avenue, at the time, and even still now, really. It's YouTube videos, it's, researching yourself on the internet, which is both a good and a bad thing. As you said, there's a lot of noise, still a lot of noise out there. I took quite a conservative approach. Obviously, with the whole mining thing was great, but as an investor, just be consistent with your investing. I didn't want to try and time the market. I didn't want to try and buy low and sell high.
Yeah.
I took the dollar cost average approach, which is just set up a little regimen where you just are buying a little Bitcoin on a consistent basis, once a week, once a month.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm still following that same path, and while today in the last couple of weeks Bitcoin has been down, I'm not too worried. I know it will go up again, and so yeah, not too worried at all. Dollar cost averaging, I find, is for me at least, is a route that works.
Okay, sounds cool. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. And I'm starting to get an idea like what kind of stuff interests you. So you have your outdoor personality. You like cars. You also like some cryptocurrencies and investing. But is there something that also makes you excited, not mentioned before? Do you have like any weird hobbies or something that fascinates you, or something you would like to try but you haven't?
Yeah, so funny at the moment. This has been something I've wanted to do for a while, and my wife, it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I've obviously mentioned it over the years, but I've always wanted to learn how to play guitar.
Okay.
So part of my birthday present a few weeks ago was an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So I'm now kind of getting into that.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I've done one or two online lessons at this stage. I'm absolutely horrible. But I think, just with enough practice and putting in enough time, you can already start to see some small results. So I'm enjoying that process at the moment. Yeah. That's something I've wanted to do and learn for a while.
Yeah, sounds cool. And I have explored guitar myself also. And how would I say that also there's lots of like noise. Noise, not like guitar noise, but noise around the topic that you can overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
But you mentioned you got an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And with that one, I would say that it's quick to get started and be able to start enjoying playing that one.
Yeah, yeah.
That one, and actually how I started. There is nowadays we have iPhones and mobile apps, and there is quite good mobile app actually from Finland called Musician.
Okay.
Their office, I think, at least a few years ago, it was still in Helsinki, and I think they are also partnering with Metallica.
I've heard of Musician.
Yeah. So
okay,
I
cool.
recommend trying that one, and it's really good, and like relaxed way to get started. So
Yeah,
I recommend that one.
Okay, I will check that out.
Yeah,
So,
and also a few YouTube channels that teach.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty cool to, we are here talking about guitar playing, and
Yeah.
one day I'm interviewing some musician guys, or the guys are making the YouTube, tutorials how to play.
Yeah, cool. Musician, I'll check that out for sure.
Yeah, sure.
At the moment, it's only been a couple of weeks, so I've literally had the guitar in my hands maybe 5 times. And I just pop onto YouTube and I say super beginner guitar chords.
Yeah.
So I've learned 1 or 2 Nirvana chords.
Okay.
And I think 1 or 2 Metallica basic chords.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it seems like that you have, some also like an artistic type of personality also inside you.
Yeah, I think it's very, very basic. I'm not artistic at all. I say that as well. But photography is another kind of side passion of mine as well, particularly wildlife photography.
Cool.
Yeah, so I guess there is a little bit of an artist in me that tries to jump out every now and then.
Okay, that's actually a good one. It's good that you brought up the photography. Let's go back into music still.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you listen to? And also like, what kind of music would you like to learn how to play with your guitar? What's the song you want to learn how to master?
Yeah, that changes a lot, because I sat down the other day and I thought, what is, like, let's say my favorite song, and what would I like to master was a question I asked myself.
Yeah.
And I've got such a broad taste in music. Anything from reggae, I'm quite enjoying reggae at the moment, to metal. Not quite heavy metal, but Metallica kind of is one of my favorite all-time bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a very, very wide and eclectic taste in music. So difficult question to answer. Which song I would like to master. That I'm looking forward to finding out along this journey.
Yeah. And actually, one tip I would like to tell you about learning the guitar is that it's really easy to get distracted. Like, you have so many songs in your head and you want to try them all.
I want to play this, I want to try that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you end up never, mastering any of them.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not a race, so everyone can learn the instrument the way they want.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a race. What's important is that you pick it up and actually try.
Yeah.
Because I remember looking at the guitar for the first week or so, just sitting there thinking, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what to do. Obviously you've seen people play guitar before. I know how you hold it and how you got to strum it.
Yeah, and it makes a noise.
And then it makes noise. How do you make it make a nice noise though?
Yeah.
So, like I said, enjoying the process. Still very early days.
Okay.
Maybe one day we sit down and have a jam session together.
Yeah, would be cool. And this is an insider joke, but we have also practiced some singing lately.
So we have spent some time.
So maybe we can do like a duo. Well, it's not clear from the filming set here, but we are quite close to Nürburgring, so we can be the headliner in a few years of the Rock am Ring,
exactly.
Like rock festival.
Yeah, cool.
But I think there is a few hours to go.
Yeah. So you play guitar, or you also kind of basic learning stuff?
Well, I would say I'm like intermediate.
Okay.
I can play some stuff with acoustic.
Oh, cool.
Not a master of any songs.
Sure.
Of course, I'm from Finland, so the heavy metal music is kind of big there. But I have an acoustic guitar. It's right there, actually, behind you. So we can have a look when we finish here.
Yeah, cool.
And maybe I can teach you.
Give me a tip or two. Yeah.
Let's do that one. But before that one, let's go to photographing. So you briefly mentioned earlier that you are also like, you are into photographing, especially wildlife. Is it only for South Africa, or have you been photographing here in Germany too?
Here in Germany too. And, I talk about wildlife photography, particularly bird photography is what I find myself being more and more drawn to.
That's cool. This raging is pretty good for that one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now have you noticed the birds being extra loud lately?
I have.
They're as excited as us that the sun is finally out, I think. Bird photography, man, birds are fascinating. And to try and take a picture of a bird is quite difficult.
Okay.
Yeah, they're quick little creatures, move
they are
around
small,
fast.
And also they are far away, right?
They're far away. They don't like to be. They don't like it when you come too close. Yeah.
So it sounds like you are using like a more like professional setup. So like I've been filming and photographing with an iPhone. So it sounds like you're doing it with something else if you're filming birds.
Yeah. So I bought myself a camera many years ago.
Yeah. It's like a big black. You hold it like
it's
that.
a big one, with a big lens.
Yeah.
It's not the latest and greatest stuff. In fact, the camera body itself is quite old, but I do have quite a nice long 600 millimeter lens, which allows me to feel like I'm closer to the subject than I actually am. And that's obviously quite important.
Yeah, I see. Regarding photography, I feel like the conversation really easily gets to really sophisticated details.
Absolutely,
And also
yeah.
it's really easy to get distracted and start buying
So, yeah.
stuff and equipment for the camera. So how would you describe the photographing and the setup and stuff you are doing for like a beginner or a person who doesn't know about photographing?
Yeah, you're quite right. And again, like with everything we've spoken about, there's a lot of noise out there, and you can get wrapped up in the research and, you can, and the sky's the limit in terms of what you can spend on photography equipment. And I found myself getting caught up in all of that and then getting depressed when I was like, I don't have the budget for that. It's too expensive. So I kind of simplified it all down, got a very basic setup, spent a little bit of extra money on a nice lens. The research I did do, that seemed to be the best bit of advice was don't, forget about the camera body itself to some degree.
Yeah.
Spend a little bit more of your budget on a decent lens. That's going to make the bigger difference.
Okay. That's actually a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. So that's what I did, and have been really enjoying it ever since. What was your other question?
Like
bit of advice.
A bit of advice for a beginner or for a person who doesn't know about photography, but maybe someone else gets into photography, and this is actually a pretty good piece of advice that don't get distracted.
Yeah,
and lens is the important one.
Lens is the important one as well. Another bit of advice I think is very important is we've all got a camera on our phone these days, rather.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good.
They are.
If you are interested in photography, forget about cameras and all that thing. Take your phone, go out there, take pictures of things.
I'm the type of that person actually.
Yeah.
And I need to show you a few photos I have taken with my iPhone, and what I like about that one is that where there is a special moment, you can capture in like adequate way. With like a manual camera, I would say that you can take exactly a picture you like, and in art, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's the view of yourself. But with the iPhone, you can take like a decent picture easily, so you can catch moments with the bigger setup you cannot.
Yeah, absolutely, you can. Again, and I think this advice kind of goes to most things in life. If you're interested in something, forget about all the noise.
Yeah.
Just find the easiest way to practice. And if it's photography, you've got a decent camera on your phone. Go and take pictures of stuff. Find out what you like, and then upgrade from there if you enjoy it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next one. Let's talk about people.
Yeah.
So when we started, you mentioned the podcaster you have been listening to. So it seems like this guy. What was his name?
His name is Ed Milet.
Ed Milet.
Yeah.
Is that like artist name or?
No, I think that's his real name.
Okay,
Yeah.
So it seems like he's like an important person.
Yeah.
And a person you look up to. Is there like other people you admire?
No one really springs to mind, but there definitely have been influential people in my life over the years. What I do like about this Ed Milet guy is that he really simplifies things down. I know we all have to build things up in our head, and there's all these kind of barriers that we put in place if you want to do something, if you want to achieve something. And really what he does is he really simplifies it down.
Did you learn the KISS acronym from him?
No. That was an old school sales acronym that I think I learned on one of my first sales courses back.
But Ed Milet gave you the vibrations because you noticed that he used the principle you have learned back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, I like the way he comes across over the microphone, and I like his interviewing style as well. And when your podcast starts taking off, I encourage you to watch his, or at least listen to his stuff.
And I keep my promise that if Ed Milet comes and sit on that chair You are invited there too, and
Yeah, cool. I would love
you
it.
can chuck in some questions,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever you want to ask him.
Mm.
The reason why I want to talk about people is that I think every one of us, we have like important people in our life, and then also like people we haven't met. We maybe never met, but we have like heard and are influenced by, like this guy for you. And I have a really special question for you, and the question is, if you got a chance to have a dinner with 3 people, first one is like a person who is still alive, then one person who is dead, and one fictional person, like a character. Who would be your persons? Who would be these 3 people?
Yeah, sheesh. That's quite a question. Okay, if someone is still alive and would like to have a meal with and a discussion with, I think it's going to be this guy we've been talking about.
Ed Milet.
Yeah. I think at least at the moment, like I said, I'm really enjoying the stuff that he's putting out there. I think the stuff that he says really resonates with me and this period of my life that I'm in.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer for someone who's alive.
Okay, that's the first one.
Yeah, that's the first one. Someone who is no longer here with us.
Yeah.
Man, my dad passed away about 12 years ago now.
Wow.
And I would love to have one more discussion with him. So many things I'd love to ask him.
Yeah.
That I didn't get to do while he was alive. So for sure, and also one of the biggest probably heroes in my life growing up was my old man. So for sure, I'd love to have one more conversation with him.
Yeah.
In terms of a fictional character, wow, I don't know. Weirdly, the thing that pops into my head, Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. I think he's a very misunderstood character. Everyone thinks he's depressed all the time.
Yeah.
So I can't answer why he popped into my head, but maybe it's the only fictional character I can really think of right now.
Yeah. But that's a pretty good really good answer. But I want to go deeper into that one.
Okay.
So if you get to have like a 1-hour conversation with Winnie the Pooh, what kind of topics or questions would you like to discuss with Winnie the Pooh?
His outlook on life, like I say, I think he's very misunderstood. He's a little teddy bear that likes to eat honey. I don't know how deep our conversation would actually go, but much like this one, I think it would be good to start somewhere and see where it lands up. Yeah.
So those are your guys. Those are your guys. Really good answers. Really good answers.
Thanks.
It seems like apparently that your dad was like a important person in your life, and I think that's pretty common thing in also other people's life. And actually, back in the day, I think it was like 5 or 10 years ago, I was watching this YouTube video where a person, I remember, was it a lady or a man, he or she was interviewing people on the street. And he was asking really simple but important and deep questions about like, what are the life regrets you have? Like, what would you have done like different? And one like pretty common answer was that, spend more time with your parents. And I guess like you like realize that one always too late.
Always too late, yeah.
And that's even though like when you listen to news, I think it's easy to get caught with the noise and the bad news and everything.
Yeah.
And when we live in this in this media cycle, but how I would like to look at it is like that we have this YouTube now, and you can listen to this podcast and interviews and everything and learn so much from other people you never will be meeting, but you are able to gain so much wisdom, and that's one of the things. And I'm happy that I saw the video because it's easy to try to improve things.
Yeah.
And I have been able to, maybe deepen my relations with my parents because of that one video.
That's great.
I saw.
That really is great. That is something I learned only after my dad passed away. And I don't want to say that there were any regrets, but for sure we could have spent a lot more time.
Yeah. And also, like, if we did everything perfectly and discussed everything what we wanted to discuss in the moment, and kind of like everything's solved.
Yeah.
But afterwards, maybe 10 years later, you find yourself asking other life questions.
Exactly.
And there is one person you would like to ask them, right?
Absolutely. There's still days where, I think, my dad would have the answer to this, or, oftentimes I'd just be looking for his advice, But what I have learned out of that whole experience is, I now try and spend a lot more quality time with the rest of my family.
Yeah.
With my mom and my brother and of course my wife as well. So that, because I don't want to have that feeling of regret, like, could have spent some extra time there, or could have spent some extra time here. So I think what it's made me is just more conscious of the fact.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's all you need, is just to be a little bit more aware of it.
Yeah.
And that's going to influence your decisions as you go forward. So it's good. Glad that you're taking that advice. Because it is important,
Yeah.
And it's easy to look in hindsight at anything in life and go, should have done that, could have done that. So that's good.
Yeah. And if you want to hear like really cool perspective I have in this situation, is that your old man is such a like good guy that he even teaches you something when he's not here anymore,
Yeah.
And
good point.
And through that one, you can still have like great moments with your family still left.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's maybe like more positive way to have a look at that.
Yeah. Another very, very important lesson that I learned from my old man. Again, and this was in his death. It took him dying for me to realize this. And my dad wasn't very old. And it's just to live your life like there's going to be no tomorrow. I remember my dad saving up all his money, especially in his later years.
Yeah.
He was only 60 when he passed away.
Yeah.
But he was really, really looking forward to his retirement. Worked really, really hard throughout his whole career. And not to say he didn't enjoy his life, he still took nice vacations and all the rest. So he did enjoy his life. But I remember him looking really, really forward to, being retired, and he had all these plans that he wanted to do X, Y, and Z and all of these things. And then, of course, passed away before he could make any of that happen.
That's powerful.
Yeah, super. And again, it's something I think about quite often, follow your dream. If you want to work in motorsport, send an email to the best motorsport company in the industry.
Yeah.
That's what I did, in my opinion.
That's how I'm here.
That's how you're here. My brother's a chef, for example.
Yeah.
And I remember a while ago he was in between jobs looking for work. And I said, just send an email to the best restaurant in London.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Just what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to turn around and say, no, thanks.
Has he done it?
He did. Maybe to not the best, but he took the advice and started working in a dream restaurant, So actually things can be as easy as asking for them.
Yeah.
You just need to ask. And I think a lot of people get caught up in their head and, no, I'm going to get rejected, or they're going to say no, and I don't want that, and I don't want that. And this is where sales skills come in. You're going to have that little bit of a thick skin, So that's why I say sales is such a good skill for everyone to have.
I'm happy that your brother took the leap of faith. Who is the next person that should hear this advice?
I mean,
Do you have a specific person in mind who is in the same situation as you were back in the day, or where your brother was?
Yeah, actually I do. I'm not going to mention names.
Okay.
But the advice is literally for everyone. If you're sitting on the fence or you're deciding whether you should do something or not, take the leap. Ask the question, send the email, do it. The worst that can happen is you're going to get a no.
Yeah.
And it's going to provide you with that little bit of thick skin and that little bit of perspective, and you're going to not stop there. You're going to keep going. So yeah.
The good news are that in a few days you can send this video to that person. And hopefully they listen to this advice. And how cool would it be that if they do the thing after you share this one, this one here. Do you have any regrets in life?
Funny, I was driving from Spa-Francorchamps yesterday to the Nürburgring.
Yeah. Having the shittiest time of your life.
Yeah. I was driving a Golf R, which was, a fun, nice car. There's some nice twisty roads between there. And I was asking myself that same question. What do I regret? Do I regret anything?
Is there something you would have done differently?
In hindsight, probably you would have done a lot of things differently. But then also at the same time, no, I don't. I'm not unhappy where my life is. Could I have faster cars? Could I have more money? Could I have a bigger house? Yeah, sure, all those things. But I don't regret any decisions I've made over the years, I would say.
And why? The reason why I'm asking, it's more about it's not about feeling shit that you or me didn't do the stuff, but it's more about sharing these lessons with other people, like I did 5 to 10 years ago from YouTube. For example, if there's a person who listens to this one and is exactly in the moment and is about to make the mistake or something that you look back to, and they can do better or maybe change something to more positive direction.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great if someone is on the fence, or if someone is, making big changes in their lives, or they're thinking about changing jobs, moving countries. Take the leap. This is such a cliche, and everyone says it. You don't want to be on your deathbed and think, oh, I should have done this, I could have done that. Do it, explore it. As long as you can sleep safely or soundly at night, rather, whether you've asked the question or you haven't asked the question, or you've taken the leap or you haven't. I mean, as long as you can live with yourself internally and you can sleep nice and soundly at night, then I think that's more important.
You briefly mentioned the nicer cars, bigger house, and money. Those are things that lots of people chase in life. Has your experience, for example, these 14 years in Germany, have those years changed the way you think about life and success?
Yeah, actually they have. Hey? Working at a company like RSRNürburg, we obviously get to meet a lot of wealthy individuals. They're not always happy. They might put on a mask that portrays happiness and all of this, but I think these 14 years in Germany and being exposed to this quite a lot, has opened my eyes to that a little bit more. And to answer the question, to me, being happy is more important than the money. To a degree, of course, you need money, and of course, everyone wants to live comfortably. But
you cannot buy a Porsche with happiness.
You can't buy a Porsche with happiness, And I look forward to the day I get to buy my own Porsche. You know? I'm happy that I don't have one at the moment. I don't feel like I deserve it yet, but that time is coming. Trust in the process as well. I think if you make the right decision on a consistent daily basis, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get towards your goal. So while I'd love a Porsche and I'd love a Ferrari, I just love cars. I want a whole bunch of cars. I don't have a whole bunch of cars, but I know I'll get there one day. I'm happy with the process. I'm happy the way it's moving in that direction. And for some people it could be other things. It could be relationships with family members. It could be the house, the bigger, fancier house. For me, I'm really happy. Content with where I am. Happy with my trajectory. Could it all happen quicker? Yeah, sure. But like I say, I'm happy with the process, enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The how I see it is that same thing with the sales, that you can learn about it from internet, YouTube, whatever, sales courses. I think you can go to happiness course or something too.
Yeah.
But I think it just needs the experience. You need there is no shortcut to wisdom. That's why the wise people in the movies are the gray people with mustache or gray hair,
Yeah.
and they share their wisdoms. They have the mileage, they have the years.
The mileage and the
so
years.
I think there is no shortcut. You just need to experience on life to know, like,
Yeah.
to explore what
Yeah.
you like,
Yeah.
what you like. And regarding the goals of buying like a expensive car, one wisdom, I didn't come up with this one after 6 beers or anything. I heard it from YouTube.
Yeah.
So some wise people in the internet are saying that it's not about the target or the goal. It's about the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, for example, if your goal, or like a silly goal, is to buy a nice car like a Porsche, when you do the work and you do it actually, and you hit the necessary milestones to achieve it. When you get it one day, you are like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
shit, man, I did it.
Yeah. I mean, look at the alternative to that is, we're using a Porsche as an example. Here we go. Here's a whole bunch of money. Go and buy yourself a Porsche. Yeah. You'll be excited and it's going to be a great day because you're going to go and buy a Porsche. But, think about the weeks and months following that.
Yeah.
Yes, you're still going to have your Porsche. Yes, you're still going to have fun driving it. No one disputes that. But the dazzle, the shine is not going to be there, The years of graft and the years of hard work and scraping that money together. Firstly, when you have enough money to go and buy a Porsche, do you still want the Porsche? Because it's been that journey.
Yeah.
And let's say, for the sake of this argument, yes, you still want to go buy it. Imagine in the following on weeks and months, you're going to really appreciate that car, that Porsche, so much more than if someone just gave it to you. So the journey is more important, absolutely.
Yeah. I want to take this conversation a bit towards back towards cars. So it seems like we have been talking about cars now more, and you said that you enjoy Porsches. You have mentioned that you want to buy one. So if one day you buy a Porsche, what Porsche will it be and why?
That, again, this is a conversation I have with myself quite often.
Yeah.
The answer is always different.
Is it?
Yeah. Again, yesterday on this drive between Spa and Nürburgring, I was thinking, just a standard Porsche Cayman GT4.
GT4.
It'll be a perfect everyday car. The odd, lap on track and the odd track day. That'd be perfect. Had you asked me this question last week, it would have been, GT3 RS. Maybe I was, was looking at one in the workshop at work for a bit longer, and I thought that's the dream car. That's the car, I need. So the specific answer changes quite often.
You need several then.
You see why I need several
for every mood.
Yeah. I sold my MX-5 because I had to buy the BMW M4.
Yeah.
But I still miss the MX-5. I don't want to sell any car. I'm sure that's the case for many, many petrol heads around the world. But I didn't. Now I'm looking at MX-5s again. I want to get another one. But obviously, I don't have the space or the money for more than one car, and so that's fine now.
Yeah. Yes. Most of the people in our professional life at the moment, they are into cars. They know the difference between cars. Porsches are pretty good all arounder for
Sure.
to get a sports car. They're good on track. They are still, most of them are good to drive on the road.
Yeah.
But there are many models. Of course, there are some SUVs and electric cars. They look a bit different. But for a non-car guy, I think most of them look the same.
Yeah.
They have these egg-looking front lights.
Yeah.
They are flat. They looks like chopped Volkswagen Beetle. But would you like to describe or simplify what's the difference between the Porsche models? There are Cayman 911, many different models of Cayman.
Yeah.
and 911, GT3, GT3 RS, many numbers, many letters.
Yeah.
What's the difference between them?
Yeah. Oh, sheesh. How much time have we got?
We have all the time in the world.
Yeah, it depends. There's a few factors that I think determine what Porsche one should buy. What are you going to use it for? Do you want it to drive on track all the time? There's a few specific models you can buy for that. Is it a mix of road and track use? Is it is it a winter car? In which case you're looking at SUVs in the Porsche lineup. So yeah, man, it depends on the application. Which is why I say, you need more than one. At least I do,
Yeah.
I want my track car, I want my road car, I want my weekend car.
Winter car.
My winter car.
Winter car.
Yeah.
So it depends.
So yeah, it depends.
But your choice
it depends.
at the moment would be the Cayman GT4.
Yeah, I say Cayman GT4, but then I'm always thinking about GT3s and GT3 RSs, I've always been a bit of a Porsche fan, but once you've driven a Porsche, and I think this is the case for most petrol heads and car guys, is once they've driven a Porsche, you realize how good they are.
It's something you cannot
Yeah.
you can describe,
And especially
but
when
you cannot understand it before you try.
you can't understand it. People have their favorite cars, and this guy's a BMW guy, and that's the best car in the world. And sure, everyone has their brand preferences. Once you've driven a Porsche, in anger, I would say, is when you really appreciate the build quality, the engineering, the innovation that went into these Porsches. You realize why they are one of the world's most desirable sports cars. Absolutely, yeah. And then it depends then how much money you've got and what your application is as to which model you should be looking at. Subtle changes between them all. You've got your 911 turbos, which are faster than the GT cars, but then maybe not quite as agile and nimble on a racetrack. But in straight line speed, super, super fast. So yeah, it really does depend.
So you have to try one.
You got to try one.
Try them all.
Try them all.
Like Pokemon, catch them all, but try them all.
Exactly.
And in the end, catch them all.
Exactly. Try them all. Figure out which is your best one. I know there's going to be probably multiple that one will think they'll need.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. You're getting tired. You want to continue?
Yeah, let's go. Have you got more questions? Yeah.
I think there are topics to discuss about. We never will know who are the people who will listen to this podcast. So it can be your friends, it can be your family from South Africa, it can be my friends, strangers we have never met.
Yeah.
Is there some life wisdom you would like to share?
I think I've already shared my life wisdom in the course of our conversation here. If it deals with regrets and not having any regrets, and I think my most important bit of life advice, if I can leave it, and I'll stress this again, I've mentioned it already, is to take the leap. If you want to do something, go ahead and do it. Life is on the other side of that fear. A good example, actually, one that springs to mind, is skydiving. Have you been skydiving?
I have.
You have. So maybe you can relate to this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And in fact, Will Smith said it after he'd skydived.
Oh.
But I felt this in my core as well.
Okay.
You're nervous. You've booked your skydiving for tomorrow, for example. The build up to that, of course, is nerves. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Oh, a little bit scared. I don't want to do it. But the time you're in your jumpsuit, you're on the plane, you're heading up to your designated altitude. For me, scariest thing in the world was when they opened that door on the plane.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you think to yourself, I've never been in an airplane when the door is open. This is quite wild.
Yeah.
The wind is going through the cabin. It's loud. There's this rush. There's this energy. All the everyone's moving towards the door.
The airplane is still working.
The airplane is still working. Yeah, which everything you've been taught in commercial aviation is that you don't ever open the doors. You're going to get sucked out, and that's it. And I remember very clear, I was watching people jump out of the plane. My turn is coming. It's coming quicker. It's coming quicker. And it was at that point where I thought, sheesh, if I die now, this has all been worth it. This has all been worth it. And then all of a sudden, you've jumped out of the plane. You're free falling. You make it down to the ground. That adrenaline is something I've never experienced before. Of course, by that stage, you're ready to just get straight back in the plane and do it all over again. So, I think life begins on the other side of that fear is the point I'm trying to make here. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And if you can just, take that leap, send that email to that company you really want to work for example, life begins on the other side of that fear. Yeah.
What kind of events took you to skydiving?
What kind of?
What kind of events, how did you end up in there, Because for example, some people book it themselves.
Yeah.
Some people do it, in the stag party. But how did you end up in an airplane?
So I'm quite thankful for this because it is something that I'd always wanted to do.
Yeah.
I hadn't quite taken the leap, excuse the pun there, to book something like that myself.
Yeah.
It was a team event.
Oh, okay.
With RSR.
Oh, was it?
Was the first time. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So kind of forced into it, and absolutely no regrets, and have jumped a number of times since then. My wife also enjoys it, and it's something we like to do. And whenever we are on holiday, if we're in a new country and there's nice landscapes, for example, we like to jump out of a plane and and see it from that height.
Where did you do it?
We've done so at Spa, over the Spa-Francorchamps racetrack, which was quite special.
Yeah.
Free falling, looking at that iconic shape in the Ardennes there. My wife and I have done it in Namibia as well. So jumping over a desert where you literally see nothing but sand on one side and ocean on the other side.
But first time was in Spa?
Was it? First time for me was in Spa. Yeah. And then, of course, I got home and told my wife about it. She's like, I'm going to try it. So we booked it on the next holiday.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Because at the moment, how I think this is that human life, around the world, there are like similar topics, similar kind of dilemmas people have, they are unhappy in a situation but it's their choice. They have been there, the boring sales job, being miserable, and then taking the leap of faith. And people, their background is different, the situation might be different, and the place where they go after after jumping to the unknown, the place might be different, but it seems like, the thought process is always the same. And similar kind of stuff for these, extreme sports like skydiving. For you, it was a company event, but for me, it was, it was different. In this conversation, I don't want too much to talk about my own stuff, but maybe I share mine.
I'd like to.
I share mine because it's something special. So when I was younger, I was like, generally pretty uncomfortable and like nervous person. Like I was uncomfortable with water, and also that skydiving was something like I thought that I would never do it.
When you say uncomfortable with water, didn't like to swim.
Yeah, didn't like to swim. Okay. Didn't want to go underwater.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I have some stories about that one too.
Sure.
It's revolves around the same topic of just doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe I'll tell it after this one. But the skydiving I went, it was 2000 and I think 19. I was studying the military science in the National Defense University of Finland, and a few of my schoolmates, when they did the mandatory military service in Finland, the conscription, they were in the paratroopers, and one of their paratrooper instructors from their military times was studying also in a higher level in the Defense University. And the guys had a great idea that we want to go skydiving again. So the instructor was also certified civilian skydiving instructor. So these guys had a great idea that, okay, let's run like a small group skydiving course if anyone are interested. And because we do it after school, and the guy does it pro bono, it will be like 30% cheaper or something.
Yeah.
And when my studying mate, I don't name drop here, but Mr. J,
Okay, yeah.
Mr. J mentioned about this opportunity, I was like, this is something that's offered now with silver plate, like a opportunity that if I don't take, I will never do it. Like
Can't say no. Yeah.
yeah, go with similar kind of people who are also nervous, want to do it, and you also get it cheaper. So if you don't do it now, you don't never do it. So I ended up doing it, and I had similar kind of like thoughts as you had.
Did you? Yeah.
But the course was, did you do it like tandem?
Tandem. Yeah. So I was strapped to another guy. Yeah.
This course was that you learn how to do it yourself.
Oh really?
Yes.
Sheesh,
Yeah. So it was like a few weeks course. We did it like a few times a week, and practice out of jumping out of the airplane using the parachute and everything.
Okay.
And
then what? Pulling your own cord? Or your own cord?
On cord here.
Or is it because they got? I think it's called static line, where you jump and you're attached to the plane. It pulls.
Yeah. That's in the military applications, but
Okay.
we did it. We did the civilian one, and so it's the traditional one.
So your first time skydiving,
Was
you
alone.
pulled your own.
Yes, I pulled.
Not strapped to anyone.
No,
You were in control of
yes,
everything.
I was strapped to my parachute, but you are jumping out of the. This is good that we discuss it because someone might get interested in this one because of this.
Yeah.
So I was with the persons in Finland. The translation would be like a jump master. So there are two jump masters with you in the plane. And when you jump out of the airplane, there are handles in your suit, so they are holding from the handles. And when you show the hand signal that you are opening your chute, they will fly away. And after you show this one, you are on your own.
Okay, because then they'll kind of leave the vicinity.
They fly away, and then you're like, oh, okay, shit, now I have to do. now I have to perform. So pull it out, and then you see it opens, and then if there are any issues, you have to sort it out. If not, the canopy opens and you're gliding.
Yeah.
And for me, that moment, when you see that the canopy is working, it's it's tight and big. You're like, you have like 3 minutes or something after the free fall when you are like, you are a few hundred meters like
floating down.
You are floating for a few minutes. You're like, whew, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah.
And I poured like gasoline into the flames after the first one because it was in the morning. I was like, okay, now I'm here. I will do it second time. So I went to the office. I was like, can I go again? They said like, yeah, keep your card there and pay it. I said, I will go.
Tap here.
Yeah, went there, and because it's still like training program. So. And in the next one, we practiced to like turn like 90 degrees to this direction and 90 degrees to this direction, and same altitude from 4,000 meters. And after that one, you open again. But this time there were two special things I would like to mention, which was this time we free fall through the clouds,
cool.
which is like something you. Before you wake up in the middle of nightmare, you're free falling through clouds, and it was like something you feel the cold air, boom, boom through your face, and when I opened the parachute, the lines were a bit tangled. So I was like, okay, fuck, I need to do something now. Yes. So then I was like, like children's swing in the playground where you are like swinging, and you play that, you spin around, and the chains gets tangled. Yeah. So I had to do the same thing. So I had to kick myself around for like 180 or something, and then it started working.
Okay. Yeah. I can only imagine what was going through your head.
And then
at that point.
when I got the ground, I was like, okay, now I have done it 2 times. I did it. I'm alive. Everything is okay. Now it's a perfect time to stop my skydiving career.
Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Have you been scuba diving?
I have been scuba diving. Yeah. Quite a few times.
Yeah. Because when I mentioned that I was kind of like scared and nervous with water, the first time I went there, it was during COVID 2022. We went to Cape Verde it's part of Portugal, but it's next west side of Africa. It's like our archipelago there.
Yeah, yeah.
We were walking on the beach with my friend, and we saw like a nautical center, like a skydiving center. I was like, exact same moment as we had in the classroom when the skydiving course was announced. I was like, okay, this is this signal, we have to go try it.
Yeah, yeah.
We went there, and I have done it a few times after that one.
Good, yeah. And I assume you kind of got over your fear of water, eh?
Yeah, it was really similar kind of feeling when I was, we were sitting in the edge of the boat, waiting to, roll backwards to the ocean. Similar kind of feeling as in the plane when they opened the door.
Yeah, yeah. And that speaks into what we've both been saying throughout this conversation we've been having. Is take the leap. Maybe it's a bit dramatic saying life begins on the other side of that fear, but you've proven it twice for yourself, and both in skydiving and scuba diving as well.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah, yeah. So take that concept, apply it to that big job that you want to, or that company that you really, really want to work for. It's important that you take that leap, that you just go for it. Worst that can happen in that environment is you're gonna get rejected and they're gonna say no. You move on.
Yeah. And the point I want to make is that for example, we are from different continents, different countries. We have an age difference of 15 years, and still we have faced these similar kind of topics, taking the leap of faith. Our favorite word today.
Yeah.
Taking the leap of faith of whether moving overseas, chasing the passion, or doing something crazy like skydiving or picking up the guitar. So, this is kind of like cliche advice, but you understand it when you do it.
When you do it,
when it plays out, you understand like, okay, now I understand why these guys both mentioned this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the body responds well to those kinds of environments, to those slightly stressful environments. I think humans are firstly all very similar. In our nature, we all want the same things out of life. And our bodies are super, super resilient, and our minds are super, super resilient as well, So, don't go through life being scared. If you want something, go for it. Ask for it. Very few people actually do. So by putting yourself out there and actually asking for it, you're putting yourself in that small percentage of people who do that, and therefore get the results.
That's it.
Leap of faith.
Leap of faith.
You should call this podcast Leap of Faith.
Yeah, would be cool. That's one of the topics. That's one of the topics. This last program highlight is kind of common in big podcasts all over the world, and I wanted to try it here. So, for example, one big podcast I listen to is Diary of CEO.
Diary of a CEO.
Yeah, by Stephen Bartlett.
Also a good podcast. I listen to him a lot as well. Yeah. Also asks really interesting questions, has really interesting guests on. So yeah.
Has your guy been in the podcast as a guest?
I don't think so. Not that I've heard. Yeah.
Would be cool. Anyway, one of the questions Stephen Bartlett asked in the podcast is actually left by previous guest, and this is the case also now. So our previous guest Hannu, I can tell the name now because it's kind of obvious. This is the second episode we are doing.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Ylhäinen left your question, and I will ask it from you, and let's see what we get. So Hannu asked you, if your past self could see you right now, would your past self be proud of yourself, or confused? How the hell did you end up where you are at the moment?
Yeah, sheesh. Oh, that's quite a question, hey. I mean, I would hope my past self would be proud. Could my past self have predicted where I am now? I don't know, probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to dig deeper. So if your past self, like, for example, 20-year-old Ray in South Africa could have like a crystal ball, and from the magic crystal ball, he would have seen like, okay, this is what 44-year-old Ray is doing in 2026. What would he think?
I do, if 20-year-old me was looking in a crystal ball
Yeah.
at this
What would
period
he
of my life, would probably wouldn't believe it. um, but I don't think would be surprised. When I was younger, I didn't have a very clear vision of what I wanted to do or be. When I was older, I just knew I was going to do something different. So and something quite unique. I've had quite a few different careers over the years. So yeah, I don't think he would be surprised. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be like, that's cool. Yeah. So you are working in cars. Yeah, I think it would be something like that. Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he
but
would,
not too surprised.
yeah.
No, yeah.
So he would be proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mr. Ray Shepherdson, thank you.
Marco, thank you. It's been a great conversation.
How long do you think that we have been sitting here?
I don't know. It feels like maybe a little bit over an hour.
Let's see. Have a look.
Yeah.
So we are having like over 1.5.
Oh, 1.5. What is that? 95.
Yeah, 95.
95 minutes.
95,
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah, yeah, not too bad. Time goes quickly when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good.
Getting out of the door and starting crying.
Yeah, I think definitely the drive back to my place, which is only
Reflecting.
15 or 20 minutes. Yeah, it will be a lot of reflection. I should have said this, forgot to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe in future you get a second chance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe we do a part 2.
Yeah,
But before we stop, and this is I would like to pose one of those, in fact, Hannah's question to you. What would your younger self, before we finish up here, what would your younger self think of the older Marco?
Yeah. I think he would be proud.
Yeah,
He would be proud.
yeah,
And I think I have been trying to do things that, like will make myself, thankful for the choices I made back in the day. And same thing, like, well, you can relate to that one, and also other people, is the right word, expats who are living like
Yeah.
overseas.
yeah,
The same issue wherever you go. Of course, there are the local stuff for each country, but for expats, there is a trade-off. When you're going overseas, you are leaving the family, the good things from your home country, friends, mom and dad, brothers, whatever you have there, you are leaving that one. But it's also important, just share the thoughts, talk about these things with the people back in your home country. Because, for example, I think my friends, my family, they are proud of what I'm doing, and they are like, they are happy for what I'm doing, and that gives me like peace of mind. And especially the comparing, for example, living in Australia and living in Germany, Germany is a lot more accessible. One way is 130 euros, 2-hour flight from Finland to Frankfurt, and then it's a 1 hour 40-minute drive to here. So it's not too far away. So
yeah. It's a lot more accessible.
Yeah.
Because you lived in Australia for a little while before you came to Germany, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
1.5 years.
And how did that feel as opposed to Germany? I know you've touched on it here, but how did your family feel about you being so far away in Australia?
I think there wasn't any problems, and the good thing is that so far everyone has been healthy and alive, and also like my brother is currently there.
Yeah.
Both my mom and dad visited Australia during the time I was there, so they got to experience also the thing they wouldn't have thought that they would ever do. It wasn't on the acronym I would say is that the bingo sheet, you know, of your life, you know. You know,
bingo
why
sheet,
yeah,
yeah.
wasn't on your bingo sheet that, you know,
That's a good one,
you will be in Australia.
Yeah,
You know, you will be in Australia with your firstborn child, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the reason I asked that is, you know, from a family point of view, you know, and I've had friends live here in Germany from South Africa, and you know, I don't know if the pressure got a bit much, and but a lot of friends who did live overseas have gone back home, you know, and I think there's a definite, and I think rather the main reason is that there's a definite sense of community, and you know, the place where you grew up has you've obviously got quite strong ties to, you know, so. Yeah, I think there's always this call to go back to your home country, you know.
There is,
Yeah.
and the good thing about life is that, you know, because we live in a free world, that we can come and go as you want, according to the budget we have.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's still possible, and we can make the choice where we are. But I think it's more academic choice. When you have experienced different places, and not just, you know, decide I will stay here, it will be shit elsewhere, even if you have not been there. And the good thing also about living in the age of social media and YouTube, that, you know, of course there are like some unrealistic life expectations, but the good thing, looking at the positives, you can see how the life is elsewhere, and you can prepare for that one.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you never thought that you would go somewhere, you can still look at people who are doing it, and you according to that one, you are okay, I can do it too.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe, you know, maybe it happens. Maybe we get to know it. Someone comes to speak to me or you, that, you know, after listening to this conversation, they did it.
Yeah, yeah.
How cool would it be?
Yeah,
they took the leap of faith after you mentioned it a few times.
I mean, that'd be cool. Hey? That'd be really cool. Yeah.
Wouldn't it make you happy?
Yeah, it would make me absolutely happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, the more people who do take the leap of faith, that do move outside of their comfort zone and do things that, you know, move the needle in their life towards the positive, the world can only be a better place. You know, so yeah. If you like cars, come to the Nürburgring.
Where should they rent their car when they come and drive to Nürburgring?
You know, this isn't an advert for the company we both work for, but RSRNürburg, of course. You know, we've been there the longest. We've got the biggest fleet.
You can try all the Porsches and then
you can try all the Porsches and then decide for yourself. Yeah, and then you realize why I'm so confused as to what my favorite Porsches. Yeah, yeah, cool. It was nice chatting to you.
Yeah, thank you very much once more. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ray Shepherdson from South Africa.
Yeah.
First one, and maybe the next one is Elon Musk.
Yeah, maybe the next South African.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. No, it's been a great conversation. Thanks for thought-provoking questions.
Thank you.
Cool.
Awesome. That's it.
Cheers. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, it was a good one.